So just close your eyes and you're going to put your attention on your heart. And we're going to take 3 breaths through our hearts with your attention right there on your heart. So on my count, inhale with me. Inhale through your heart. And hold it. And exhale. 2 more times. Inhale through your heart. And hold it. And exhale. 1 last time. Inhale through your heart. Hold it. And exhale. And just for a moment, sensing the space that your head takes up, the space that your entire head takes up. I just want you to sense the volume or the space that your head takes up with your awareness. And now we're going to expand that to sensing the entire space that your body takes up. Sensing the entire volume that your body takes up. And we're going to expand it even a little bit more, sensing the entire space that the room you're in right now is taking up.
Go eat. Go eat. Go eat. No. Go eat.
Sensing the entire volume that the room takes up. And from this more expanded place, I want you to tune in to what is your intention or the clarity that you want to receive or the breakthrough that you want to have from this call. And just kind of sitting in that space, breathing into your heart and letting that answer come to you. What is your intention? What is the clarity that you want to receive? What is the breakthrough that you want to have on this call? Once you have that, literally breathe that intention in, breathe that clarity in. And once you feel complete with that, you can open your eyes and come back to this space. And if you guys can just share in the chat, what did you come up with? What was your intention? Or what was the clarity that you wanted to receive on this call? I see Shauna's here from Cincinnati. Very cool, Shauna.
Well, my intention was to feel a lot of love and give a lot of love.
All right, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else?
Mine was to receive clarity in my next moves in my journey, just to receive clarity and have my gifts enhanced, and that's my intention.
Awesome. Sharon says to create instead of react, to get my book written. Barbara says to get my book written with love. Beautiful. Learn to process triggers. Hell yeah, we're going to get into that today for sure. Oh, I see Shalini's in the house. to listen to my intuition clearly. Awesome.
Hi, Vic. Sorry, my video is not working for some reason. It's Patty.
Hey, Patty. Good to see you, or good to hear you.
I don't know what's going on with my video here, but I'm here. I'm present.
No worries. Good to have you. All right. So as we have put all, what else we got here? Listen and hear better to gain clarity of who my true self is. Okay, guys, we are about to get into it. I'm just going to pull up my PowerPoint here real quick. And so we're here answering the call. A little bit about me. If I know a lot of y'all know me and have been familiar with my work, but in case you don't know me, my story is that I had an accident 15 years ago that left me paralyzed from the waist down. I was 22 years old. And I just see another intention coming in here. Mine was for unlimited wealth, great health, magnificent house, cars, great relationships, abundance life. Awesome, Samir. And so my life, starting with this situation that happened to me when I was 22 years old, really caused me to ask a lot of questions. And I went through all sorts of stuff from really not accepting my life to trying to figure out any possibility to get out of it, to eventually reaching a certain level of acceptance and learning to live in the moment and truly accept everything that my life was and living from that point. And that space gave me a lot of direction, where it led me to meeting a bunch of spiritual teachers and really getting like curious and passionate about like learning on how we create reality, how we can actually influence reality for what we want. And so for years, I've been on this journey and fine-tuning my own approach to how we do this. And, you know, you can call it manifestation, you can call it the spiritual journey, you can call it connecting with your higher self and manifesting your destiny or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, we're trying to connect to this pure aspect of ourselves. We can literally create whatever we want in our lives, but we really want to create what's giving us like true full fulfillment. And the only thing that will actually get us there is really connecting to our true self, our soul, our higher self, and following those directions. And we'll get into that really soon. But my story is actually written in a book, right? It's called Rolling With It, Lessons Learned While Sitting Down. If y'all want to check it out, you can go to my website, BeHereRightNow.com/book. It's on Amazon, so I definitely encourage you to check it out. It's definitely, I've been very vulnerable, very transparent in this book. And it really just takes you along the journey and all my thought processes to understand all these things and applying it to myself. And what I've learned after releasing this book, which just came out June 21st, is that many people have been messaging me, telling me it's really opened up their eyes and how they can apply these spiritual principles to themselves. And they're learning their emotional baggage and how to really tune in to their own selves and follow their own path. So I really highly encourage you to get it if you feel called to do so. And so going forward, we're going to go over 4 skill sets that I have deemed important for the spiritual journey, right? And these 4 skill sets are based in releasing emotional energy, following your intuition, manifesting with elevated emotions, and living in your own energy. So on this call today, we're going to be going over all 4 of these skill sets. I'm going to teach you a little bit of a technique for each one. And then we're going to have a meditation. I know I have some past clients here, so we might hear from them on their work with me. And what do we say? I'm just looking at the chat here that's popping up. It's an incredible book. Thank you for Barbara for checking it out. And at the end, where I have a special offer for you guys. So definitely stay tuned till the end to see what's going on. So now coming here for spiritual growth, we are, all four of these things are not just one thing that you tap into and it's done. They're literally all important for every aspect of your journey. It's almost the same principles that apply, but we need to revisit and build these skill sets and build our awareness to be able to become experts and almost rewire ourselves so that these techniques and these concepts become natural. And so first off, let's get into releasing emotional energy, right? So releasing emotional energy. Releasing emotional energy, it's important to understand your triggers. I know somebody had said that triggers was one thing they want to process better. And so it's really interesting to understand triggers, because a lot of times we think when we're triggered by something, we think that the person or the situation that's causing that trigger is the one at fault, right? When really triggers are like this reflection. It's feedback from the universe or from life that's showing you what you have stored within you, right? And so say somebody, gets you upset, whatever it is, the idea that's coming to me is, your husband left the toilet seat up or something like that. And that made you upset. Now, so I go by this like concept that like the issue is not the issue, right? You think it's that situation that's causing you to feel that way. And we want to control that person or that situation to follow that, right? To what do you call it? To control the situation so it doesn't happen again. But in actuality, it's showing us emotions that are coming up. Patty's saying that it also guides us. Triggers do guide us. Triggers do help us, one, get a better understanding of what we're feeling and why we're feeling it, and give us more clarity on really where we want to go. But the important piece here is to understand that the emotional reaction that comes from the triggers is not necessarily serving. If we can get into a place of stillness when we are triggered and a space of inner reflection, then we can actually deal with it. And so there's a bunch of different things that we can do to release emotions, whether it's, writing it down or writing letters or something along those lines, right? Or meditation, getting into a space and just allowing that space to come up. And I'm going to teach you a technique here in a bit where it's just a really quick way to locate and release that energy. And so building awareness. This is like, we only notice certain triggers, right? We only notice triggers that like we're actually aware of. And there's a lot of things that are going on, whether it's COVID or, something more personal that cause us to feel certain ways when we're scared, when we're fearful. And so when we can understand that every time we're dealing with a trigger and we're building that level of awareness, we're constantly expanding that every time we release. And so there's always going to be more triggers. And a lot of this stuff, some of it like roots in our childhood and our own past experiences, which there's a lot of. And then some of it also roots in our genetics and that are passed down ancestrally. So it's important to be aware of this, right? So that that more and more as you do this, you're going to keep clearing energy and you're going to be expanding more, and it's going to take you to next levels, but it doesn't end. It literally never ends. We're always a work in progress. That's why I say these skill sets are things that you want to constantly revisit, constantly be open with. And so, and then, everything is a reflection. It's, back to everything is feedback, showing you what you have in you that you can release, right? And our mind is interesting because our mind recognizes situations, and it's literally looking at like the Rolodex of our past memories or the past situations that are similar where we dealt with a certain way. So it's like, oh, this stuff triggers me. This stuff makes me get angry. anger comes up. And so the more and more we can look at life as this reflection and have that feedback to do the inner work rather than lashing out on the external world, things shift, right? It's a whole different perspective of looking at life. Let's see what we got here. Triggers are also experiences stored in your subconscious and have not been healed. Therefore, they will act very present in this life experience until it's healed. Exactly. So I want to teach you guys a quick technique here, right, on releasing emotions. Okay. So in the space that you're in right now, get into like a thought of anything that triggers you or bugs you. It could be COVID. It could be like, you know, something happening in your life. It could be literally anything that just upsets you. And as you do that, I want you to breathe in and out through your mouth, literally inhale and exhale through your mouth, right? And so as you do that, the point of breathing in and out through your mouth is to actually be able to locate where you feel that emotion in your body. It's, if you're familiar with the chakras, it's along the chakra energy system. So it might be in your lower stomach or in your diaphragm or in your chest or in your throat, sometimes your back. So get in a sense right now, if you can close your eyes and just breathe in and out through your mouth, thinking about whatever situation that is upsetting you or upsets you, and try to see if you can locate where you feel that tightness, that tension, that contraction in your body. And when anybody has that, if somebody can just chime in and let me know where you feel it.
In the heart chakra.
You feel it in the heart. Okay, awesome. We got another one in the heart. Lower abdomen. Okay, perfect. So
I feel it in the third chakra.
In the third chakra, so like the diaphragm, right?
Diaphragm.
Okay, yes. Awesome. Heart and head. Okay. Now, if you feel it more in your head, we're more in our head. But if you feel it in your heart, that's really the space that you want to like focus on, right? So now this is a quick breath technique, right? You're literally I'm gonna explain it first, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna close our eyes, and then you're gonna locate where you feel that in your body, putting your awareness literally into that spot. And then you're gonna take a deep breath through your mouth while focused on that space that you feel it. Take that deep breath through that area. And at the same time, I just want you to imagine like a black hole is like all around that area where you feel it, and just feel it expand as you inhale. Okay, so let's try that. So close your eyes, focusing on that area where you feel that emotion, that tightness, that tension, and literally breathe in through that spot and expand in all directions. And you're gonna do a few breaths in that area, noticing what gets lighter, what's still contracted, what still feels tight. Maybe it moves to a different location. So just be aware, and I'm gonna give you all just about a minute or so to just focus on that area and breathe in through that space. And notice if it gets lighter. If you're having trouble with it, or if you're not really getting it, just jump on and chime in, and I'll see if I can help you. But if you're noticing it, perfect. Just allow yourself to do that until that energy, that emotion just feels like it's gone. How does that work? Rada says, wow, how does that work? This is all energy, and our breath is energy. And, really, we don't realize that there's such a mind-body connection here. And so when we're really able to like focus in and locate when we feel that stuff and release it that way. You don't got to go to a therapist and like, you know, talk about why you feel that way and where it came from. And, you know, sometimes memories come up, and when they tend to be like really deeper things, there might be other things that you need to do to release it, whether it's like just writing your feelings, or, you know, there's like a buffet of possibilities. I personally really love this technique because it's quick and fast, and, you know, and so, you know, feel into how you feel, whatever was triggering you when you started this technique. Think about that right now. Do you feel as triggered or triggered at all? Or do you feel pretty clear about it, right? It's gone. And so I like to like think of this as like playing whack-a-mole with myself, you know, like literally like you got to think about it. Every day we have experiences, and every experience creates an emotion. And so the dark hole lightens so much. Exactly. Can you imagine, like, without this technique, we're going around with this energy so much, and literally in 10 seconds, you can clear this, right? You get to a place of clarity, the thing doesn't bug you anymore, boom. So I say whack-a-mole because it's like these things, these emotions are stuck in like different parts of your body. So it pops up and you're like, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get that one, and I'm getting that one, I'm getting that one. And I just like look at life like that now. It's just like, oh, I feel triggered. Oh, somebody's upsetting me. I must have something in me. Locate it, breathe through that, boom. Right now you're doing it with your eyes closed and stuff. I've been doing this, using this technique for like over a year. And like, I can literally do it with my eyes open. I can be in a conversation with somebody and they might say something that makes me upset. And immediately in that conversation, I can go in there. But, you know, and that's why I say it's a skill set, because it's like a speed meditation. Exactly. I'm all about efficiency, you know, that's what we're doing. So
what I find hard, Vic, is like when we're in the moment,
yes,
you're so fast paced, your day is fast paced. What I find hard is stopping myself right then and there and doing the work.
Right. And
let the trigger take me.
And I mean, one thing you got to know is that it's totally possible. It's just not like it's not a habit for you yet, right? Like you and we build that way. We're like, maybe at the end of the day, you kind of like wind down and you're like, all right, I experienced all this stuff today. It doesn't have to be in the moment, and you can just feel into your body wherever you feel stuff and release it and work up so that like eventually, you know, in your day, you can build that awareness where it's like, oh, I don't want to deal with this anymore. So it's a process, and just know that you can get there. And all it is about building awareness and building new habits, right? Practices. So just don't stay in that belief that you can't do it. Just, you know, give yourself the space. If you have to do it for a while, just, you know, spending some time every day at the end of your day to do it. Perfect. That's awesome. You're doing it, right? Regardless. And you can work up to that. You got to realize that we're like 95% subconscious, which means that we're 95% habit. Our mind is literally constantly reacting to situations automatically. We're not choosing to think so many different ways. So we have to program ourselves to treat these situations differently. And it just takes practice and awareness. Cool. So moving on to the second skill set is following your intuition, right? So the more and more we release emotions, the more and more we like release this energy, the clearer we become with our intuition. Our intuition is like this small, soft voice. It's a loving voice. It's not analytical. It will never think of worst case scenario or anything like that. A lot of times it'll just be like, call this person, go to this place, do this thing. And so we got to get in. So the more and you guys feel clear now after you just released that. So get into that understanding that the more you release, the more you're in this clear space, the more you can listen to your intuition. People don't usually follow their intuition because they have so much emotions built up that it's not clear. There's too many voices, right? So, and those voices, your analytical mind is usually louder than your intuition. So we really want to get clear so we can connect to that, and that that softer voice is really like the GPS of your soul. It's literally leading you to your highest happinesses, to your best possibilities, and it's up to us to be able to follow that. Now there's, you know, a situation that the following intuition brings up is that it always leads you to like unknown situations, like the situations where, like, you know, you think you want to go, but like you don't really know how it's going to work out, or like if it's telling you to call a person, you're like, why do I got to call this person? Like, what is it? Like, what does that even mean? So it puts you into this space that, you know, you can't really support with your analytical mind. You can't really justify it. You just have to follow it and trust it, that it's leading you. And initially it's probably going to be scary whenever we like, it's not that, you know, we all like follow our intuition to some degree, but when it comes to some bigger things that, you know, when it comes to like our mission and our you know, what we're here to do, and it's, you know, it's usually things that really we have a lot of fear around. And so the more we can clear that, and the more we can just follow that and jump into that direction, we are always going to be met with amazing experiences. It always leads us to you know, awesome possibilities and stuff. And it's just about getting ourselves into the flow of being able to listen to it and follow it. And it takes a level of surrender, right? Surrender is literally letting go of all control or all level of thinking on why you might be doing whatever it is, and truly trusting and just letting go and allowing yourself to fall into that process. So I want to do a little thing here where we're going to connect a little bit to our intuition. And so I am going to play a song real quick. Before I do that, let me go back. Okay, so y'all look at me here real quick, right? Your hand, right? I want you to put your hand on your heart chakra, which is like literally in like the middle of your chest, okay? And so our intuition really resides in the heart. And so the more we can connect to that place, we're gonna have more clarity. So what you're gonna do is really simple. You're just gonna be breathing. This is how we started, and we were breathing through our hearts. Right in this specific place next to your heart, in the middle of your heart, you're gonna be breathing in and out through that space. So I'm gonna play a track. We're talking about like 3 minutes or so. And for a couple of minutes, you're just gonna be breathing in through that space and out through that space. After a couple of minutes, I'm just gonna tell you to ask it a question, all right? Whatever your question is, whatever it is that, you know, you're not sure about, get into asking that and connecting to that space to see what comes through for you, okay? So I'm gonna play the track first. Everybody's hand on their heart chakra. And here we go. We're just breathing in through that space, out through. Inhale and exhale through your nose. As you do that, tune into the emotion of love. You can think of something you love, like maybe a pet or your kid, or just a sunset, it doesn't matter. Just as you're breathing in and out through the space, feel into the sensation of love. love to hear any shares on what you got from doing that. You can chime in the chat or you can speak up on the video. What did you feel with that?
So much peace. It was nice.
Did you get any answers, any clarity about anything? What was your question?
I did not have a question. I missed that part. I was just breathing in and out. I was just like in the moment.
Get lost in the meditation.
I was.
Well, just feel into that peace space that you're in right now, you know, and whatever question you have, you're in the space right now. So just see whatever comes through. Marlon, I see you are unmuted. Do you have something to share?
Yeah, I asked my intuition how I can attract a partner. And it told me to just focus on and love myself.
Mm-hmm.
And by loving myself, someone else will come along. And so that was a really good answer.
Beautiful. And Radha says, I asked, what does it say here? I asked if I was my higher self, and it responded, yes, you are your higher self. Samir feels peace and relaxed. Sylvia says, my daughter is a trigger. My question was if we can salvage our relationship. The energy became lighter. There we go. Awesome. So this is really just building that relationship, you know, to our intuition. It's there for us all the time. We just don't really know to connect to it, you know, and the more we connect, the more we keep releasing emotions, the more that voice gets louder. Like if you try to not listen to it, like it's going to keep coming. So keep that in mind, you know. Shauna says, what do we got here? Shauna says, serenity allowed me to release any stress, concerns. I found a question, but no answer, but I found the question. Sometimes, you know, the answer, you know, it's not time for the answer. And maybe we need more time to ponder in the question. Or maybe there's other things that need to be revealed until then. So, you know, if you're not getting an answer, I wouldn't say that there is no answer, but it's coming. Let's see. And this was to keep sharing, even if people think I'm nuts. Yes, Patty. I think a lot of people think I'm nuts. And, you know, we got to be out there. We got to, you know, we have gifts to share, you know, we have a presence. We're all here for a reason. And so, you know, sharing with other people, even though they think you're nuts, that has to do with, you know, your own insecurities too. And so that's why your intuition is also leading you to spaces that make you uncomfortable. But it's really going into those spaces is going to cause that much more growth, you know? So Barbara says, being called nuts or out of my mind is a great compliment. I hear you. I hear you. Cool. So let's move on to the next piece, which is manifesting with elevated emotions, right? So this is really about like thinking greater than your environment, right? Because you can, especially nowadays, you can easily get caught up with all the stresses and the fears, and you know, there's real threats out there. And in order to feel elevated, right, an elevated emotion are things like love, joy, gratitude. And in order to feel that way in such a situation that we're all in, there's so much showing us that we shouldn't be happy or that we shouldn't feel gratitude. There's a threat out there. We should be stressed and scared. We need to be, you know, we need to survive. But like that state is not a productive state to be in, not for your body. I mean, you know, what happens when we're in stress, when we're truly, you know, dealing with that. And like 70% of people are literally living, I mean, people are living 70% of their lives in stress. And stress is really like emergency mode, right? Your body literally thinks there's a threat outside, like a tiger or a lion or something. And it is sending energy out to your arms and legs because it feels like you need to run, fight, or hide because there's a threat. And the long-term effects of doing that is that the energy, because that's the same energy that you use to digest your food or to make your heart beat regular or to, regenerate your cells and like all that stuff. And so when we're not focused on peace and joy and in like that space, and we're really getting stuck in the stressful environment, well, our bodies are having this level of a reaction, and the long-term effects of that are not good. That's what leads to the disease. That's what leads to a lot of stuff. And so that's, one aspect. On another aspect, we have an energy field, and the energy field is totally related to the emotions that we're holding, that we're emanating. It's literally emanating into our environment. And you've been to a lot of experiences probably where you notice somebody and you're like, oh, bad vibes over there, not wanting to do that, right? Or you might tune into somebody that has lighter energy and you feel more connected to wanting to talk to them. We're literally emanating energy. And so when we get into this space of connecting to these elevated emotions, and it has nothing to do with the environment, it's just it's things like choosing to feel gratitude for a sunset just because you want to get into that emotion, because you want to be in that energy, and that contributes a positive energy to the environment. And so thinking greater than your environment is important. I said we have this energy. There's so many experiences. All the experiences that really happen to us is very related to the energy we're keeping. So if we are in a lighter vibration, if we are happy or joyful, which takes practice, we are going to attract equivalent experiences, experiences that you want to have. And so, and they're usually shown also, like, if you've ever experienced like these like funny coincidences that like lead you to the things you want, they happen all the time for me. Sometimes, you're thinking about a song and it plays on the radio, or you're thinking about a person and you meet them. And, those are all just like little examples on like how we can work with life, but it has everything to do with building our vibration and really sending out these more positive emotions. And, when it comes to manifesting, things only happen in alignment when you're totally aligned with the energy. And so there's a period, right, where we're tuning into an emotion. We have intentions and things that we want to create in our lives, but they haven't happened yet. And so you want to, kind of keep getting into that elevated emotion, and at the same time release the emotions, just as we started with the first skill set, right? Because the more and more emotions that we release, and the more we connect to better feeling emotions, we're moving into alignment. We're releasing that energy, that vibration that hinders us, right, from that experience, and connecting to this more positive place. And then when we get, even to the next level of elevated emotions, we really start, being able to connect with literally healing energy, right? When we there's an artery that's connected to our heart that goes to our hands. And literally when we're feeling love, joy, and gratitude, our heart expands and it's pumping more blood out. And this energy is being sent out through those arteries. Those energies going through, and it's coming out of your hands. And that's how a lot of people do Reiki and things like that. This is kind of like the scientific explanation of what that is. And you don't necessarily need to be a Reiki master to do it, but when you really are able to tune into energy and you have control over your emotions like that, you can actually tune into healing energy and send that. So now for this next technique, right? This is a quick technique. This is one of my favorites, most powerful techniques I've ever come across. And it's called bridging the gap, okay? It's called bridging the gap from where you are to where you want to be. And if you think about where you want to be, that's the space that you feel really elevated in, right? Like if you had all the things, you became the person you wanted to be, all that whole space, you would feel very joyful. You would feel excited, right? And so right now, we're not necessarily on that space. What if we don't know where we want to be? That's fine. Where you want to be can also be just an emotional state, right? You want to feel love more. You want to feel, you know, more joy. You want to have more peace, like whatever that space is. It doesn't have to be like very specific on like who you're becoming. It could literally just be that also. So if you don't know exactly what that looks like, just get into the space of how you want to feel. Like, what is the space you want to feel like in the gap compared to where you want to be right now? And you might be feeling love, joy, and gratitude already, and you just want more of it. And that's fine too, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put both hands up like this, right? And your left hand is gonna signify where you are right now, okay? Thinking about like all the limitations, all the struggles, all whatever that is, whatever it looks like, exactly how it looks like, tuning into that. And it's gonna, your left hand symbolizes it. So when you do that, can you sense a sensation, a subtle sensation in your left hand? Just give me a nod if you got nods. Okay, cool. All right, awesome. Now the right hand is gonna tune into where you wanna be. So really like get into a space of like all the things you want realized. Imagining that person that already like has all the things you want, or is feeling, you know, the emotions you want to feel like in that level of joy. And when you do that, do you get a sensation in your right hand? And just nod for me. Okay, perfect. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna hold both of those perspectives together, right? So close your eyes, and your mind is gonna alternate both of them, right? Where I am now, where I want to be. Where I am now, where I want to be. Just allow it to do that, okay? Just allow it to do that, and now slowly, as that's going on in your mind, slowly bring your hands together until they touch. And you might have resistance, you know, just there's no rush, let it go at its own pace. All right. All right. Did everybody do it? All right. Let me know how y'all feel after you did that. And if you're still doing it, no rush. Just allow it to come together.
A lot of resistance at first, but then it felt like a magnet towards the end.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. And you feel elevated, huh? Patty?
Yeah, feels really good.
All right.
Just lighter.
Amazing. Anyone else?
I felt the same. I felt the same. I felt a lot of joy.
Mm-hmm. This is just a really cool technique that's like, you know, some people take 20, 30 minutes in a meditation to get here, and you literally can just do that in a second. Anybody else have any experiences with that they want to share?
I felt unity.
What'd you say, Nancy?
Yeah, I felt like a sense of unity.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. This is a powerful technique, guys. Electricity. You felt a lot of energy. That's the idea, you know. It's all about efficiency for me. Radha, how are you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I felt like there was a great big brick in there, and every once in a while it'd pop and let me go a little bit closer and a little bit closer, but I could feel such strong resistance.
Right.
There was really something.
How do you feel now after doing it?
Very interesting. I want to go back and attempt to do that again.
Awesome. Yeah, you can
But
do this.
it was really, I really felt, it was like, there's no way I'm going to get through this, you know.
Right.
So very, very cool.
Very cool. All right. So y'all feel elevated and like shorthand, pun intended. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, these are all shortcuts, you know. It's all about efficiency for me. All right, so now the last piece I want to get into in these skill sets is living in your own energy. When we're on this journey and we're releasing our emotions and we're tuning in and we're doing all this stuff, well, what happens is we have more open, available energy and we become empaths, which also means that we take on other people's energies or the collective energy sometimes. And, you know, it's a struggle, especially like during these times, because, you know, there's so much that comes up. And so there's some legitimate skills that are not, you know, normal in a sense that is necessary to be able to live in your own energy, to not take on other people's energy. And the first thing, you know, is not taking things personally. Imagine if you're having a conversation with somebody, right? And whatever, their person broke up with them or like whatever, or they cheated on them and they're all upset and they're coming to you and they're like, he did this to me. And you're like, oh man, are you kidding? Like whatever. And then you kind of get into the story with them kind of thing. Boom, you're in their energy, right? Mm-hmm. And so you want to be able to hold the space, right? We can definitely be there with people, but we don't want to like get into their story. We want to like look at it as like, oh, okay, you're going through something right now. Like I'm here just to help, to hold space. Like I like literally looking at this person as I know you're going to get through whatever this is. And that way, like you don't have to care necessarily too much about the story. You're actually holding the space for that person to move through. And the problem is when we really get into other people's stories is that we're like adding to it and we're creating more of it. And we don't want to do that. This is all, if you really think about this in like energy terms, you know? And so another thing is like, we gotta listen to ourselves. We gotta listen to our intuition. When we need time and space for ourselves, we need to give it to ourselves. You know, there's times where we just need to take breaks because there's just so much going on, and you need to give yourself that time to just regenerate and build your energy back. You know, and then there's like a bunch of energy healing practices too that we can get into to help practice that. And so this is kind of a simple thing I want to show you guys. You know, it's something that I like to do is really like imagining this protective energy bubble, right? And this bubble, right, is really it's a space that when people come to us, they have to meet us at a higher vibration. And at the same time, it protects us from anything toxic, anything negative, just so we can hold that space even more and stay easier in those elevated emotions. Okay. So this is really simple. You can close your eyes, right? Close your eyes and just imagine that there's this energy bubble of lights all around you. It's filling up your entire body. It's all around your body. And it's this big bubble that's just for protection. And so what I would do is I would just take a few minutes and sense this space, feel this bubble around me, and literally intend that this bubble is going to protect me from getting into any, you know, negative spiral or anyone else's negative spiral or the collective or anything like that. It's allowing me to stay in the energy I want to be in. And when I meet people, their energy gets raised. And so as you just feel into that space all around you, do you feel like a tingling sensation around your body? Do you feel like some sort of, maybe it's lights, maybe it's something like that? And if you don't feel it, it's okay too. You just got to know that it's there and trust that by that intention, it's protecting you. Did anyone have an experience with that want to chime in? Oh, Claudia says, I feel it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, hi. I had a question. I had a doubt on this one.
Okay.
I've tried this before and like from past few days, how do you know? Like, I know I'm getting affected, so I try this one, and I can feel like consciously I'm aware of it. I'm trying to release, but I lately I'm feeling it in my gut. Like I can feel the other person's emotion, and even though I'm trying my best to cut it out, it's
Yeah.
not kind of working. And I know what it is, and I'm focusing on that and trying to release, and it's still affecting me, and I am getting triggered from just past few days. Like,
And
I don't
so
know,
do you,
like how is it work? It works sometimes, it doesn't work sometimes. So how do we be more consistent?
right.
Like,
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes we're meant to be triggered, you know?
okay.
Sometimes there's like, you know, emotions that need to be dealt with, so the trigger has to happen. And so you want to look at that as, you know, even if you're getting it from somebody else, right?
Yeah.
And some of us, Shalini, you know, you're really gifted. So some of us are also meant to help other people through their stuff by taking their stuff on.
So
But you could,
am I kind of picking up on purpose on them so that I can release it?
yeah. So by,
But it is putting me through pain, like physical pain. I
and
can
have you been
feel
have you been able to do the release work on it? Have you been
kind of, I'm trying, but it doesn't really always work. Like from past few days, it is uh, kind of hurting
kind
me.
of, it's kind of heavy?
Yes, it's heavy.
I would kind of tune in, because, you know, like sometimes, you know, because even though I do this, it doesn't mean that I never feel emotions or that things don't come up. Patty says, when I'm physically tired, my bubble doesn't work as much. That makes sense too, right? Your energy's kind of lower. And so, you know, but emotions still come up, and sometimes they're triggered by other people. Sometimes we're feeling things from other people. And if you have a bubble and you have that intention that you're protected, and something still kind of comes up, I would just go into the emotion and just release it, because for whatever reason, you might have karma with that person. You know what I mean? You might have, like, there might be like different other factors here that play a part. So so I would kind of like look into that. But at the end of the day, even if you are taking on other people's energy, you just get back into like the release work, because you can release it, right? And
how do you release the physical pain?
the physical pain is related to emotional pain. Where do you feel the pain?
In my gut, in my lower gut.
In your gut and your lower gut. So it's like those are the lower chakras, right? And so that's really the space of, like, you know, more like suppressed stuff. And so sometimes the breath, like, will release some of it, but if it's like, sometimes it's like stubborn and it doesn't want to go, right? And so that's where you really want to get into a space where I would really tune into that area and just kind of, you know, write down what just comes up, if there's any memories that come up or something like that. But sometimes we have to dig in a little bit deeper to unravel that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, cool. What's this question? Do you think it's her intuition trying to guide her somehow? It might be, you know, like it like there's something there for you, right? Nothing ever happens by accident, right? So, you know, we can protect ourselves to a certain degree, but in certain situations, we still have to deal with stuff. So, and every time you uncover emotions and every time you get lighter, there's more clarity, there's more direction, there's more synchronicities and like all that stuff. So, you know, tune into that. And if it might be like a stubborn thing, literally sit with it, you know, write what's coming up, you know, give yourself that space to kind of go in there. Cool. Oh. Somebody else ask a question?
Yeah, Rana.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. One of the things that and I don't know if this is the same kind of thing. The other night I was at a forum, and there was a lot of rebuke going on and stuff going on. I was feeling very nervous. And so I know in the past that I've read about and also done throwing a wall of mirror or a bubble of mirrors around me so that nothing hits me and always bounces back.
Uh-huh.
And so, and I immediately, once I did that, I threw that around myself and then around my friend who was with me and then around some other people and around the panelists. And I immediately felt calmer and because I was I could feel it.
I love that.
Just agitated so much from all this. And it worked like a charm. And I've tried it in other circumstances and that always works. So, completely wrapping myself in mirrors.
In reflective mirrors. Whatever you say bounces off me and comes back to you.
Exactly. And I was totally protected and it felt really, then I was able to make it through the rest of the forum very peacefully and stuff.
I love that. Thanks for sharing. Yeah.
Is that the same kind of thing you're
talking about? I mean, it's a similar idea, like it totally is. At the end of the day, it's energy, right? And we're just visualizing something to protect and block that out, whether it's, mirrors, and that's the thing, like when it comes to like visualizations, things that like conceptually that we can really tie into, like mirrors reflecting energy out, we might feel more connected to than maybe like a light bubble, But at the end of the day, the intention is the same. So some things might even work better for others, and this is all these different techniques and all these things that we do, you're really figuring out your own toolbox. I'm giving y'all some ideas and some options here. And I've learned like dozens of this stuff. But at the end of the day, I also work with like a certain toolbox, right, that I go to. And if certain things don't work or they're not working as well as they used to, well, then there's more tools in the toolbox that I can play with, right? But at the end of the day, yes, Radha, that is really the exact same concept that we're trying to do here. Cool. Does anybody have any questions or thoughts about that or anything we've done so far?
Hey, Vic, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. When she was talking about with the mirrors around you, I used to do that too, but I would make it a two-way mirror, like where you could see through one side, but you reflect it on the other. So the things bounce, all the negativity bounces off, but you were able to send out love through you. So, no matter what, you could always be love shining out without catching the negativity.
Beautiful.
So that was my little, those little secret mirrors, that they have places where you could see one way, but not the other. So I just thought I'd throw that out there because it's a really great technique, because we always got to send out love.
Yeah, we do. And you're killing two birds with one stone with doing that. Or we should loving two birds, like let's not kill them. But yeah, I mean, so at the end of the day, and we can get as creative as we want with this, right? This is all intention and this is all like the world needs more love. Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. And so the more we can tune into that and like play with this stuff, like we're really affecting the world, right? It's the, it's the more we can be that higher vibration and send that energy out to others, we're helping other people. And I think at the end of the day, the more and more people do this work, that's how we're really going to change the world. When everybody taps into their power and their gifts and being understanding that we're energy beings and that we have these kinds of abilities, So awesome. Thank you guys all for sharing. Let's see here. Okay. So I think I have a couple of people here who have worked with me before. Patty, you mind if I call on you for a second?
Sure.
Patty and I worked together for like 3 months, I think about 3 or 4 months ago or so. How are you doing, Patty?
I was just having a conversation with you the other day when you messaged me. I feel like we opened Pandora's box and it's just flowing more and more. My mind wants to know more and more about, I feel for so long, or so many people, so many of us walk on autopilot every day and just in a trance, and so how am I at the age of 42 just learning all of this, Right. It's so great, but it's just like you wake up, you're awake, and then you're able to see everybody else. The how they're just like walking zombies, and it's just like I want to wake them up, I want to share, and it's just like my mind just wants to absorb more and more, and it's just so curious.
Awesome. And what was, what would you say if you were just to like summarize in a sentence, what was it like to kind of work with me and get to this space?
I feel like it was such a great, I mean, the universe, so many things were happening at one time. The universe put you in my life. We crossed paths at the right time. And it's just, it was time to wake up from everything. And it was such a great beginning, and to be able to open that. And you were such a good guide. So many questions that I had, but I was quiet about. I never asked anybody. I never knew where to go or who to ask.
Right.
Oh, yeah, this is, I'm just being weird, or my mind is being weird. And you were there to help guide me and just push me down that path. And here we go.
Awesome.
Like, I want more.
There's always more, but so awesome. Thank you for sharing that, really awesome. And Shalini, can I pick on you for a second?
Yep. Yeah.
Hey, Shalini, how are you?
I'm good. Yes. Oh my God. How should I say? You came in, you were guided. I was guided towards you, very frankly speaking. And it was for a reason, to believe in myself, I guess, because I had no one to talk. Even now, I kind of have no one to talk and understand. And it was you who really opened me up to this and to my gifts. Mm-hmm. And made me understand that I'm not crazy. Right. That no, I am sensing people's energy, and it really helped me, like your techniques and everything. And that's what I was trying to follow up. That's how, like, you self-doubt, right? We all self-doubt each other.
For sure.
So at times like that, it really helped me a lot. Mm-hmm. Like, and the way you were guided, I think it was a part of intuition, how to trust, because it was like, what am I going to talk? And I didn't even know you did all this, remember?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, how to trust intuition and follow it. And then one led to other, then other things opened. And then I started seeing, I think it was already happening, but I never saw it that way. And now I see more and more things, like synchronicity, things happening, one thing open, you have a question and you get an answer suddenly out of nowhere. You suddenly, as you said, you meet someone, things pop out. Yes, like magic.
Totally. I've been on this journey for a long time, and I just started coaching in like October 2019. So I've been doing this for like less than 2 years, but as I've been doing it, it's also, opened me up. And, when I get to work with you guys and stuff, like, I accelerate too. We're like growing together,
Exactly. And the biggest thing, which I'm sorry, I interrupted you before, I forget. The biggest thing, what I think is sometimes when you're, as I said, when I had a conversation with you, even if I didn't have a conversation about something, after talking to you, I could connect the dots. Like suddenly it will be like, oh, okay. Like things would just work out. I would understand better, even though we had not had discussion about those things. Right. It would just magically connect. And because it's about energy, right? So even if you're a person like me who do not know how to put things in words, just by spending time with you, things can work out.
Shauna says you had an experience of your awakening.
Yes.
Amazing. And yeah, I mean, thank you for sharing, Shalini. That's really cool. And I'm on this journey, like totally going like day by day, moment by moment. Like things are always unfolding, and the more I open up to the space, more and more things happen. And in these kind of containers, I'm able to take people on their own journeys and their own guide them to their own abilities and their own connection to themselves. Because then if we talk about it or not, it doesn't even matter, because it's really just about getting into that level of energy. And I'm just guiding you to tune into your own intuition, not that I necessarily need to have the answer. It's just about getting into that energetic space. And so what I want to share with you guys today is, here we go. 1 second. I'm starting a group program called the Lightworker Dojo. And it's starting September 2nd. There we go. It's where your soul training begins. It's September 1st there, but that's a Wednesday. And I think I'm gonna do it on Thursdays. It's starting September 2nd. They're gonna be, it's kind of tentative right now, but I'm planning for 6:30 p.m. Central, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. If that works for you on Thursdays, it's a 13-week program. We'll be meeting once a week. And so this is a group program. So you have the support and the connection with other like-minded spiritual individuals who are all on this journey for spiritual growth, for this level of connection, you know? And so having that support, having like-minded people really helps the momentum of kind of staying and moving more and more in this direction. You're also going to get this course that I've just made. It's called the Lightworker's Manual. It's got all my meditations, and it's got a bunch of the techniques, even a few of the stuff that we talked about today in there. And in the course, I'm going to be going through like a multitude of different techniques for all sorts of situations. I like to call myself the Swiss Army knife of awareness tools, because I've kind of learned from a lot of people and then like figured out some stuff on my own that help all of these skill sets, you know? And so we're gonna have 13 weekly calls once a week. You know, I call them mystical support calls, and they're all about getting into this higher energy and being able to voice whatever you're struggling with, and learning how to apply the tools and techniques even more, and getting to this, you know, total clear energetic space to manifest your life, to connect to your destiny, your mission, you know. And we're also going to have a WhatsApp group. So, you know, I say 24/7 support, but obviously like I'll respond when I'm awake, you know, but that's just a space that, you know, like throughout when we don't have calls, when we're not on the calls yet, that you can still get like additional support on this expansion journey, on your awakening. You know, there's accountability on both ends. You know, being in a space like this, you are accountable to continue. A lot of times we like to pull back and go back to old patterns and things like that. Well, now you're going to be held accountable to kind of continue on this magical journey. And at the same time, I'm being held accountable for you guys to have that space. And I mean, I live this. I live this world. I live this life. So, you know, I'm constantly opening up my energy. And in addition, I'm going to be having special guests who are awakened people, who are spiritual leaders, who are going to be teaching us some other stuff, helping us with our energy, adding things. That's all I can say. I don't even know how to describe this to you guys, but they're activations, you know, and they're upgrades. And I know some people who are kind of really deep in the journey, and who I've learned from, who I'm going to be bringing in to kind of add another element to this. Okay. And so I want to tell you guys the price. This is the regular price, not the real price, not your price, I should say. The price for you guys is different, but it's a 3-month course, right? The regular price is $2,000 for the 13 weeks. You're in the network of spiritually like-minded people. You get access to this course. You get access to the meditations. You get weekly calls, the group, the accountability, the special guests, right? All the stuff I kind of went over. And so that's one package. And then there's another package here for $3,000 that includes 3 one-on-one calls with me if you want to get really personal and really deep one-on-one on your stuff, right? But I'm not going to charge you that price, right? We're totally canceling that out. And I'm taking $500 off so that it's $1,500. Or you can do a payment plan where it's $500 a month for 3 months. If you want the 3 calls with me, it's $2,500 or $834 a month for 3 months. So check in how that feels for you, check in for your intuition. This is really an acceleration process. So if you're really on the journey and you're really wanting to do the work and you want to kind of take this to another level and you want to influence people and you want to be the light, well, we're going to be doing all of that. We're going to be taking it all to another level. And if you're interested, the way to be involved with it is to book a call with me, right? I call them free awakening calls, where we'll get into where you're at and tune into what you're want to achieve, what's your intention for joining a program like this, and we can get really deep and get into the sense of getting you there, and seeing if you're a good fit, if we're both a good fit for each other. And so you can either go to my website, BeHereRightNow.com, and just click on the link that says book a call, or you can go directly to this link, BeHereRightNow.as.me/awakening. If you're not sure if you want to do this, or even if you don't want to do the program, you can still do an awakening call with me, and we'll just do like a short little session to kind of help with whatever you're going through. That's just my token of appreciation for you guys joining me on this call. And do we have any questions? What was the time again? It's going to be at 6:30 on Thursdays. All right, 6:30 p.m. on Thursdays.
Central time?
Central time, yes. Yes. So is there any thoughts, any questions from anyone about Lightworker Dojo? Are y'all ready to get your soul training down? Everything you experience on this call, just imagine this times 13, and more really, because we'll be communicating throughout the week. So I can tell you that I've done this group program once before, and it was really surprising to me because it was literally like a download that I had. I was like, teach light workers. And I was like, what are you talking about? It was like kind of, I had never done a group program yet. And so I did this program, and literally people started especially the last third of the course, people started really developing their gifts. This one lady started tuning into these energy rods. She would call them these lightning rods that she would just see with her third eye. And she would just be able to use these rods and send energy. And it was, a surprise to me. So we had her just really send the energy to all of us in the group. And everyone had really kind of cool experiences. Other people started really having premonitions, literally getting downloads of things that would happen before they happened, and really tuning into, that kind of gift. So and then, I mean, there's totally more. There's these people, were able to get into that space of surrender and really manifest a lot of things that they wanted in their lives. So this is really, a next level course. This is not your typical meditation, let's, kumbaya, and let's learn how to be in the moment. This is being in the moment on steroids, so so again, go to BeHereRightNow.com. I'm gonna write in the chat too, just so you guys have that. Or I sent that only to you, Claudia. Hold on. So you can go to my website. My website is brand new. I've totally revamped it, so it looks kind of cool. And if you want to go directly to booking a call for the awakening call, you can just click on this link. All right. Does anybody have any thoughts, questions, feelings about Lightworker Dojo or about your experience today? I would love to hear your shares or your insights or anything that you've experienced. And if you still have questions about anything, please ask now too. Thank you so much. That was
Hey.
fascinating. Rhoda says that was fascinating.
I have a quick question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Shauna? Yeah.
Yes. If we can't make this session, will there be another session in the later time of the year or next year?
Yes, there will be. I haven't completely decided when that will be. It might be a month or so after this one, so maybe in the beginning of 2022. However, that discount is probably not going to be there by that time. So if it's something you can take advantage of now, or if it's aligned later, that's okay too. But definitely, this is going to keep happening.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anyone else? Patty says
Yeah,
thank you so much.
I wanted to thank you.
Oh,
This,
yeah, go
this
ahead.
was a wonderful, wonderful class, and I can't wait to see more of what you have in your under your sleeve to share with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've worked a lot on yourself, and you are in a place that you're like to a lot of people. So I thank you again.
Thank you. You know, I made this post the other day where it was like a lot of people call me an inspiration. You know, I've been getting that like forever because I'm in a wheelchair and I do things. I feel like, you know, people like just generally people look at people in wheelchairs are inspired just for them getting out of bed. And then it's kind of evolved now to, you know, being like this light. And, you know, the only reason why I am the way I am is because I do the work. That's it. That's the only reason. It's not because I chose to think positive or anything like that. It's just like I got a taste of this world and I just kept going deeper and deeper and deeper. And, you know, I literally can tell you all the stuff that I teach in these courses. I myself has probably spent over $40,000 or $50,000 in learning all this stuff. So, you know, this is a lot of value in what you're getting, and you guys got a taste of some really innovative stuff just in this call. So, you just imagine the possibilities.
I just want to say that.
That's my mom, by the way.
I'm so proud of you, Vic, and what you've been doing. And he is our hero, and for so many. So thank you for being who you are.
I couldn't do it without you, Mom. All right. All right. Well, I gave 90 minutes for this call, and we have 5 more minutes. Samir says, thank you so much, Vic, for the experience. Hope to do more. Totally. So 5 minutes, guys. You got me for 5 more minutes. Is there any questions? Is there any thoughts? Is there any shares? Anything at all? The love of a mother is fierce. Feel that, Mom. I definitely could not be here without my mom. She's been my number one fan. She's been my number one push. She's been my number one motivator. There's no way let alone being born, but there's no way I could be the person I am right now if my mom wasn't
thank you.
Part of my journey. If you get my book, you'll totally see a lot about my mom, because I talk about a lot about her in there. Cool.
Thank you. That's what mothers do. Yes, mothers' fierce love.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. When I read the book also, I was inspired by both of you, because I'm a mother, so I know mothers go through the same pain with their kids. So you have to be inspired enough to pick your kids up and push them and
right.
be positive enough. So that power comes from both of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was always something telling me it's going to get better. It's going to get better. Keep on going. Keep on going.
See?
So now
And
I'm going to be an
reflects.
author to write my perspective of this journey.
Oh, I'm waiting for that then.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, both of you. All of you, actually.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. it's been a pleasure to have this call. And so if everyone, it seems like everyone's clear and feels amazing and is elevated and is connected to their intuition and is living their spiritual journey and is doing all the things. So I will let you guys be in your own energy, connect to your space, connect to the space you're in right now, find your next step, find your, you know, tune into the Lightworker dojo and, you know, get that training in. And yeah, I look forward to getting on a call with some of y'all. And if you have any thoughts, questions, feelings after this, feel free to message me and we can talk about it. So without further ado, thank you so much for being here. Much love to all of you guys. And till next time, it's a pleasure and an honor to serve all of you guys. So thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.